You're building a zoo. No, actually, a 5-star animal empire. Juggle everything from finding sponsors to monkey business in aArk Nova.
And today we're diving into a quick start tutorial for aArk Nova. We'll explain everything you need to know to get started quickly and pick up the details and icons as you go along, in 15 minutes or less.
And hello everyone, it's Stella.
And Tarrant, and welcome to Meeple University.
And hey, if you enjoyed this video after watching, you really help us by like, subscribe, and let us know what you think in the comments. That seriously will help us to bring more videos. Alright, now let's get to the classroom.
In aArk Nova, players are building modern, scientifically managed zoos. Players will build enclosures, house animals, and support conservation, sponsors and partnerships to have the highest scoring zoo. To set up, players take a map, empty or with these components for the starting map, as well as 25 money, 5 action cards in a row, 8 zoo cards, which you inspect, choosing 4 to keep, 2 final scoring cards, and 4 workers with 1 available and 3 which need to be unlocked. The association board contains 1 of each partner zoo and university, and a set of starting conservation projects, and on the main board a face-down deck and discard, a display of 6 face-up zoo cards, and 4 different tracks. There are 2 separate victory point tracks in aArk Nova. You can score appeal points, moving anti-clockwise around the ticket track. This represents customers entering your zoo and increases your money income. And you can score conservation points, moving clockwise around this green inner track. This represents your zoo's scientific advances and opens you up to some other bonuses, including some once-off bonus tokens. When you reach one of these spaces, resolve a token and discard it. It's your combined progress on both these tracks when someone's markers cross which will determine the winner. The main board also has the reputation track, which you increase when you gain this icon, and this tells you how much of the face-up card row you can access. There's also the break track. This is a shared track which advances when certain actions are taken, and income and resets are triggered for all players when it reaches the end. aArk Nova is played in turns. On your turn, choose one of your 5 action cards and resolve its action at the strength of its slot in your row. Then move the card to slot 1 and advance all other cards. So for example, I could take cards at strength 4, then shift it to the left like so. You can increase the strength of an action, including above 5, by spending 1 X token per strength increased. And as your turn, you can forego taking an action, simply resetting a card for a single X token. Each card has a basic and upgraded side, and you upgrade a card of your choice when you gain this icon. There are at most 4 ways to upgrade a card, so you'll never get to upgrade them all. Upgraded cards are more powerful, and there are some slots, tracks, cards and other bonuses not available to you unless you have the specific upgraded card. There are 5 actions: cards, build, animals, sponsors, and association. To play basic cards, draw a number of cards based on the strength of the action into your hand from the face-down draw deck only. Then discard the required number of cards, which could include one you are already holding, to the discard pile. Alternatively, if your action's strength shows the snap icon, gain any single card from among the face-up 6. Once upgraded, your card draws are higher, and you can draw either from the deck or reputation range. That is, a face-up card below or to the left of your reputation marker. Slide and refill once your turn is complete. Playing cards advances the break track by 2. To play basic build, construct a single building or empty enclosure into your zoo from among those available. The The cost to build is 2 money per hex. It must adjoin a previously placed building or enclosure, or must adjoin the edge of the map if you have no buildings, and neither water nor rocks may be covered. There must be at least 2 hexes between any pair of kiosks. Gain any bonuses that you cover. If you place a pavilion, gain an appeal, and gain 7 appeal for covering your whole map. With upgraded build, you may construct multiple different buildings up to the total size of the action. And 2 special buildings, the reptile house and aviary, are now available. The cost always remains 2 money per hex. For animals, play up to as many animal cards into your zoo as indicated for the strength of the action. For basic animals, the animals must come from hand. For upgraded animals, they may also come from the board within your reputation range at an extra cost equal to the number of its slot. Pay the money cost of the card. Flip over an unoccupied enclosure, which is at least the size of that animal. Add the animal to your tableau. Gain its points and resolve its benefits. Animals have tags in the top right corner, and these add to your zoo, since sometimes you'll require certain tags already in your zoo as a prerequisite to playing an animal. Some animals require their enclosures to be adjacent to rocks or to water. Birds and reptiles may sometimes be housed by adding cubes to the appropriate special building rather than by flipping an enclosure. And in fact, if you've housed such animals in enclosures and later build the special building, you have a once-off immediate chance to rehome those animals. Petting zoo animals are also housed by placing cubes. Sponsors gives you 2 options, play a sponsor or gain money. To play a sponsor with the basic card, play 1 sponsor from your hand with strength no higher than the strength of the sponsor action. If sponsor is upgraded, then the sponsor's strength can be 1 higher than the action, and instead of from your hand, it may come from within reputation range, again with extra money cost equal to the slot. Your sponsors form a tableau. They may have immediate effects in yellow, ongoing passive effects in blue, break income effects in purple, or endgame scoring in brown. Some have tags and prerequisites, and some require you to place unique buildings in your zoo. If you gain money, advance the break marker equal to the strength of the action. Gain 1 money per strength for the basic action, or 2 per strength if upgraded. Association lets you do tasks on the association board. There are 4 different tasks, each with its own strength requirement. For the basic action, do 1 task up to the action strength, and for the upgraded action, do any number of different tasks up to the combined action strength. You must place an available worker on the task to take it. You begin with 1 worker and unlock more with this bonus. If you already have a worker on a task, you must place 2 workers to take it again, and all workers are removed as part of break income. Different players' workers do not interact in any way. This task gives you 2 reputation. This task lets you take a partner zoo. Gain any bonus you cover, and this now counts as that continent's tag for all purposes and gives you a 3 money discount on any animals with that tag. For this task, take a partner university. Gain the covered bonus and its tags. These research icons help as prerequisites for some powerful cards. This task lets you support a conservation project, 1 on display, or 1 from hand, or if upgraded, 1 from reputation range for the cost of the slot. Choose an open slot for which your zoo has the required tags or icons. Here, for example, 3 rocks. Mark the project with 1 of these cubes from your map board. and gain the points on the slot. Note that this is the only way to clear these 7 cubes. Every other cube I've placed has come from my general supply. Gain that cube slots bonus immediately. If that project was to release an animal, then flip the smallest enclosure it could have filled, lose the ticket sales it brought in, keeping any other bonus it once gave, and then discard the card. With the upgraded action, you may also make a donation for points as an additional task. If you make break reach 0, gain an X token, and at the end of your turn, perform the reset. Players discard to their hand limit of 3 or 5, and remove any tokens placed on cards from effects. Refresh the association board, return workers, and sweep stale cards out of the row. Gain income for purple fields on cards and boards, for your position on the appeal track, and 1 money per different type of building or occupied enclosure adjacent to each of your kiosks. And to be clear, you do score for special enclosures like petting zoos and reptile houses if they're empty. It's only enclosures which are flipped from empty to full which don't score off a kiosk. Reset the break track and continue to the next player. When any one player reaches 10 conservation points, all players must discard one of the 2 final scoring cards they were dealt. When someone's 2 scoring markers have met or crossed the same green scoring area, the end of the game is triggered. Finish that turn and all other players take 1 more turn. Players add points for their endgame cards and for brown bars on played cards. Now determine your final score, and whether you've got the first version of the game or a later version will determine how you do this. But don't worry, the result and final margin is the same for both methods. In the original game, take your appeal value and deduct the lowest appeal value next to your conservation point area. So this would be 58 minus 52 for 6 points. If you have a later version, there'll be a number printed in the conservation box, and you instead add that number to your appeal to get your final score, which will be exactly 100 points higher than what it would have been in the original version's method. The player with the highest score wins. If tied, whoever supported the most conservation projects wins, which means you count up the number of cubes you've cleared off this track, and if still tied, victory is shared.
Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, maybe you'd like to watch this next one. Have a great day, bye!